As the '93 college football season started, Michigan was the popular choice to repeat as Big Ten champions. But along the way, there have been some bumps, like a fumble with a win in hand against Illinois, and a lightning strike loss, which killed championship hopes, and a killing defeat at Wisconsin, and second place gone too. Meanwhile, old rival Ohio State rolling along unbeaten, leading the Big Ten, dodging a loss with a last-minute block of a Wisconsin field goal try, and the desperate tip of an Indiana pass that might have given the Hoosiers a late-game lead last week. Today, a sure ticket to the Rose Bowl if the Buckeyes could beat Michigan. And Coach John Cooper would love to have one more ride off the field.
As ABC Sports College Football, in association with the Big Ten Conference, presents the Ohio State Buckeyes and the Michigan Wolverines. The temperature low, 30 degrees, but the stakes are high for the Buckeyes. And now for the next installment in our continuing feature on what's new in the world of sports science and technology. There, UCLA, USC for the Pac-10 spot in the Rose Bowl. Wisconsin still very much alive in the Rose Bowl hunt. If Ohio State should lose, they're down in Illinois. And the Western Athletic Conference game for you. Check your ABC station or your cable operator for pay-per-view. Hello again, everybody. I'm Keith Jackson, along with Bob Greasy and Lynn Swan. Never has the old cliche, control your own destiny, had more meaning than it does right here today for the Ohio State Buckeyes.
Well, Keith, any kid growing up in the Midwest and wanting to go to the wants to go to the Rose Bowl if he plays in the Big Ten. Not only does the Ohio State players have never gone to the Rose Bowl, but they have never beaten Michigan, and they can take care of all of that right here today.
What about the matchups now? It looks to me like they match up pretty well.
Well, Ohio State's strength all season long has been in their offensive and defensive lines. But for Michigan, their problem all year has been in their offensive and defensive front, so the advantage would go to Ohio State. But isn't it normal or fitting that this game would come down to the big uglies in the trenches in a game like this?
Well, this whole series has been going on a long time. It's a game played by human beings, and when you've got this much feeling over this number of years, anything can happen.
No. The wind chill factor is 9 degrees as Butler Benote, number 33, and Travis McGuire, number 6, are the deep people for Ohio State. Remy Hamilton will tee up the rock, and that's what it's going to feel like for a while, and kick it from the 35-yard line, kicking into a mild breeze. He got all of it, nails it way deep into the end zone, and it'll be Ohio State's ball, first down out at the 20. The field was partially frozen this morning, the place where the tarp had been put down, as Bobby Hoying will lead the Buckeyes and go from right to left. 1,381 yards for this big youngster. He's had a fine season. In the backfield behind him, Raymond Harris had a career day last week in the win over Indiana, and Joey Galloway, of course, will get special attention today from the Michigan defenders, and if they don't give him special attention, he'll beat them. Michigan hustling out now, getting the defense on the field a little bit late as the Buckeyes are ready to snap the ball, and Raymond Harris is a single back, and he has the ball coming around the corner, bouncing off tacklers, and goes to about the 30, and he may have picked up a first down on his first carry of the ball game. These are the people that many of us feel are among the best in the country at the position they play, and collectively it is a great big offensive front, quite mobile, and may be the edge in this ball game today for Ohio State. So Raymond Harris on his very first carry goes for 11 yards, and the Buckeyes are up near the 31. Big kid, he's a 6'2", 225-pound senior. He had 162 yards, career high last week in the win over Indiana. Hoying keeps this one, lets his pass go complete to his tight end, Cedric Saunders. Saunders is taken down by Ty Law at the 35-yard line. The defensive unit for Michigan, and they've got some pressure on them today. Trevor Price and Damon Denson are freshmen. Can you imagine freshmen starting in the front, in the trenches, in the last game of the season for Michigan? But there they are.
True freshmen, too.
Yeah, true freshmen. Jared Irons has developed through the year and become one of the outstanding linebackers in the country. This is Harris again. Right into the middle he goes, and he'll pick up 2 yards on that carry. The defensive secondary for the Michigan Wolverines, Ty Law is the cover man. He plays the field side and will be the fellow who's assigned to keep his eye on and, if necessary, hands on Joey Galloway today. And they'll give him some help as play develops on his side of the field, and it will develop on his side of the field. The ball rests at the 37 now, where it is 3rd down and 3. That's Ty Law, number 22 there. Hoying calling his play at the line of scrimmage. Time ticking away on him, but he gets the play off in time, and he is decked back on the 30-yard line by Jason Horn, a sophomore from Lafayette, Indiana. And so the Michigan defense comes up with a big play and will force Ohio State to the punt.
Horn is right in the middle over the center. That's Thrush, 61. He's just going to go around him. One of the problems for Michigan this year, they have not had many sacks. We mentioned in the opening it's going to be in the trenches, and Michigan wins the first battle with the sack on 3rd down.
That is Tim Williams, number 23, the place kicker, who took over the punting chores last week. They want some more air under the ball, more hang time for better coverage. Stop those long returns. Derek Alexander is the man that goes back for Michigan, and he's a speed burner, a senior out of Detroit. So on a cold day of 30 degrees and 9-degree chill factor, here's the first punt. Well, he got some air under it all right. He hit it right up the shaft, but he got a pretty good bounce, and it'll roll down inside the 40 and out of bounds at the Michigan 37, a 33-yard punt with no return. Massive old Michigan Stadium will have an attendance record when all the counting is done today. They're expecting around 106,000. Now the Michigan offense will come to the field with Todd Collins at quarterback. And they will have their first possession at the 37-yard line. And Tyrone Wheatley will be the single back. Wheatley back from a shoulder injury where he missed a couple of games. But he says he feels fine now. That's Walter Smith in motion. And Collins rolls it out on play action and throws complete to number 85. As play is good up to the 44-yard line with Damon Jones, the tight end, making the catch. Todd Collins on the year has completed 65%. You see the total yards there, and his coaches say by the time he's done with his senior year, his totals may be the best ever. Tyrone Wheatley, the big, agile, swift back, one of the best running backs in the country. He's back hale and hearty. And Walter Smith has been having himself quite a season as well at the wideout. It is 2nd down, and call it about 2. Pitch it to Wheatley, his first carry today. They string him out, but not before he gets the first down. Put him out of bounds just across midfield. Now here are the people who have to hang in today. The offensive front is anchored by senior Mark Milia. And Gary Moeller says it means a lot when you have him in there because he can come to the ball, call the checks, call the blocking assignments, and get it done before the quarterback hunkers down to do his signal calling. Means a lot. So there's Mark, senior from Birmingham, Michigan. First down for the Wolverines right on the midfield. Wheatley up the middle, dancing around for daylight. Goes down to the Buckeye 45-yard line. The defense for Ohio State stacks up this way, and the obvious man is number 72, Big Daddy Dan Wilkinson. He penetrates, he gets in the way, and if you don't put a couple of guys on him, he'll take your head off. Powell, Stiles, and Williams all good at the linebacking. Tito Paul getting playing time now because Tim Walton is down. He's a good one, but he's probably the guy that Michigan will pick on if they pick on anybody today. Meantime, have your eye out for 72. See what he does as he goes to play action and throws incomplete, intended for Wheatley and almost intercepted by the linebacker, Mark Williams. So they're lucky to get that one back.
Ball was batted around for a while, and the coverage was there on the left side, and Collins came back, and the throw wasn't that poor, but the ball was knocked up. The defense had a shot at it.
Gary Moeller talking to Wheatley. Most taking a licking around here. The media's been on his case pretty good because so much was expected of this team, but it's hard to sell the public sometimes just what happens to you when a half a dozen key people get hurt. That's what happened to them. Collins for all day to throw, throws hard and off the target, and it is incomplete, intended for the tight end Burkholder, and again Mark Williams was there on the coverage. And so that'll bring up 4th down, and Michigan now will have to punt. So each team picks up a first down in their first possession, and then they will go to the punt with Chris Stapleton averaging just under 41 yards per kick on 39 punts. Doing a little better this year than he did last year. The man deep for Ohio State is Joey Galloway, the junior wideout from Bel Air, Ohio. High, good kick. Very good kick. Going toward the end zone and just trickles in. And it'll come out to the 20-yard line. And now let's welcome back Lynn Swan, fresh from the marathon.
Thank you, Keith. Senior leadership, which translates to attitude, is very important in this ball game. Michigan, with aspirations of a national championship, their attitude went downhill after the loss to Notre Dame, but made a rebound against Minnesota last week. For Ohio State, it's been consistent and strong, but today they're a little aggravated because with 10 games, only 1 tie and 9 wins, they're 1-point underdogs. And a good attitude, Keith and Bob, as you know, is as important, if not more important, than the game plan.
Butler Benote checks in now and has the ball, bounces off that first pressure and gets a couple of 3 yards out of the carry as he seemed to lose his footing when he came around the corner. So Benote is the speedster, and they will alternate him with Raymond Harris. And it's a considerable change of pace when they put him in the ballgame.
Exactly, Keith. Harris is the Thunder guy. They like to run inside. He's got over 1,000 yards. Benote, the Lightning, they got a lot of speed. Outside plays mostly when he's in there.
Tony was talking about attitude, and I sort of had the feeling, since we have seen Ohio State now for 3 straight weeks, that they seem kind of off-center a little bit, maybe a little tired. So they had a little adjusting to do themselves, I think, this week, coming over here to play an old rival. The Michigan-Ohio State game is a special kind of a game, and this is Cedric Saunders. Saunders, the tight end, is up to the 39-yard line for an Ohio State first down. At the conclusion of the game today, we will choose the most valuable player from each team for Chevrolet, the 23rd year that the Chevrolet Scholarship Program has been giving $1,000 to each of the competing schools for their general scholarship funds. This is the area of the field right where they are right now, where it's probably the softest, because that was the area that was under the tarp and it was frozen early this morning. Raymond Harris is back in the lineup now at tailback. And he's got the ball. He steps in there behind the big fullback. And he didn't have the ball. It's a fake to Harris. Good fake. And the throw downfield for Galloway. Double coverage on Galloway, and it's incomplete. But he fooled me because I'm looking to see if Harris could generate some momentum through the mud hole, and lo and behold, it goes deep.
Well, you know it wasn't a pass because Galloway on the outside, number 7, was really streaking downfield, and normally on running plays, receivers won't do that. A nice play by Ty Law, who will probably be shadowing him, as you mentioned earlier, most of the day.
You know who else is from Aliquippa, don't you? Pretty good piccolo player.
Ty Law?
No. Henry Mancini. Second down and 10. The ball is still in the same location on the field. This time it is given to Harris. And coming in, slicing in from the corner, number 28, Dion Johnson. The boundary cornerback blitzed and got him. Secret to life, right place, right time. Johnson is a junior out of Detroit. Ball moves for 1 yard to exactly the 40. And it'll be 3rd down and 9.
One thing that Michigan will do today, Keith, and that is play a lot of players. Almost every snap, 3 and 4 substitutions coming in and out.
Galloway and Buster Tillman now are at the bottom of the picture. 2 wideouts together there, and Hoying back, getting pressure, passes away, and a very good pass. Chris Sanders, I don't think, thought that Hoying was going to be able to deliver the ball, and he seemed to pause for a moment and then could not reel it in. Hoying put the ball right on the money.
Well, he did, and he was under severe pressure because Michigan puts the linebacker and a free safety. That's 2 possessions and 2 punting situations now for Ohio State.
It's going to be one of those days. Defense, kicking game, field position.
Yep.
Williams and Alexander are the principals here. Williams to punt it and Alexander to return it. No pressure. Little better kick by Tim Williams this time. Runs Derrick back to the 20. Tried to go wide. And Marlon Kerner runs him out, and a penalty flag is thrown. So the man trailing the play after a 40-yard punt and a 9-yard return throws a flag. Jim Kimmerling is the referee. Probably block or a clip. Block in the back, above the waist. Below the waist. No. Yep. Illegal use of the hands. So it's against Michigan, and that'll back them up. And you've got 8:35 to play in the first quarter, no score.
2 summers. 2
receiver.
Yep. 2nd down and about 2. Give it to Wheatley. Bounces outside. Big hole on the left side. He's got some daylight, and he's got burning speed. And finally, he is knocked out of bounds by Walton Taylor.
Take a look. This play is designed to go to the left side, just straight on blocking. That's Jenkins, 77. But good feet and good vision by Wheatley. He sees a huge gap to the right side. And there you see Smith, the other wide receiver, blocking and allows Wheatley to get downfield, 43 yards on the gain.
He means a lot to this team, boy. Davis is in now at tailback. Wheatley out for a breather. Tight end goes in motion. That's Burkholder. 1st down, Wolverines. Near the 30-yard line. Give it to Davis. Picks up about 3 on the carry.
It's interesting, Keith, that the block of Walter Smith, number 2, sprang Wheatley probably for another 25 or 30 yards, and that's how Alexander was hurt on the previous play. Cam Cameron, the quarterback and wide receiver coach at Michigan, always wants his wide receivers to be able to block. If they don't block, they don't get on the field.
2nd down and 7. Davis got a yard, and that's all. Chico Nelson, the strong safety, stepping up to wrap his arms around him. Wheatley will come back. Davis will come out. Davis is a sophomore. Wheatley is a junior. Wheatley's 226 and Davis a 200.
One of the problems with this team early on, here's a good shot of it right here. Last year rushing, they rushed for 270 yards. This year, they're averaging only a 170. And the problem with that is, and the reason, is the offensive line. The 5 starters from last year are not starting this year. 4 of them are gone to the NFL.
Pressure coming. Collins gets it away, going into the corner with it. It is caught! Touchdown! Mercury Hayes!
Going to be a little blitz Stiles, number 90, forces him to throw it before he wants, so the ball's offline. But Hayes adjusts to it, comes back and makes a great catch, and the Wolverines are on the board first.
Walter Taylor could not reach back for that one. He saved one last week against IU, but this one he couldn't reach. Ilazovic for the extra point. Got it. So it's 6:34 to go in the first quarter. Michigan goes to the lead, 7-0. Jim Beckler's first year facing Woody Hayes, perhaps greatest team. Lowest margin of victory had been 27 points for the Buckeyes. Barry Pearson, a 60-yard punt return. Wolverines pulled off a 24-12 upset and went to the Rose Bowl. They got beat out there, but by golly, they went.
So look at Walter Smith, who just caught that touchdown pass. He's the starting wide receiver. Where is he now? He is on the kickoff team. Hayes. Smith caught the touchdown last week and blocked a punt in the same game. Walter Smith, the other wide receiver, on the kickoff team. Not many teams will put their starting wide receivers on the special teams.
Benote and McGuire are the deep people for Ohio State. Michigan leading by a score of 7-0. All Ohio State has to do in this ball game is win or tie. And they're pretty much on their way. Wisconsin. Now, I know that there's a whole lot of Wisconsin folks around this country watching this game. Wisconsin is playing Illinois at Champaign, and they have to win out in order to get the ticket to Pasadena. They tied Ohio State. All right, here's the kick by Hamilton. It will be returned by Benote. Pretty good run by Butler out across the 30-yard line where it'll be first down. This is what's going on. This is sort of tradition weekend. It's Harvard and Yale time. It's Purdue, Indiana. It's Minnesota, Iowa. It's Wisconsin, Illinois, and of course this one with Penn State entering the factor as they play Northwestern. And of course Iowa, Minnesota playing for Floyd of Rosedale. Wisconsin and Illinois, it's pork day. I could gain 6 pounds at halftime.
We missed that one this year. Michigan State is idle today, if you're wondering.
All right, from the 30, here comes Ohio State now. They're down by 7. Bob Moying stays at quarterback. And he throws the ball out to Raymond Harris, trying to set up a screen for Harris, and he picks up about 6 yards on the play. There is still some talk going about as to why in the world Wisconsin, in the hunt for the Rose Bowl and all this, is going off with Michigan State to Tokyo. Well, the contracts for that event were made 2 years ago. And some of the money has been spent. So you have to live up to your commitments, and that's what you're going to do. Put the ball just over the 35. Saunders, the tight end, is in motion. They go that way with Harris getting outside on Saunders' block. But a fine tackle by Ty Law takes him down. And now let's check in with the other Saunders, the one that's dry and warm, sitting in our studio in New York. John.
Thanks a lot, Keith. Warm and my hands aren't nearly as good. Let's take a look at guys who have good hands from around the nation. The Kodak Coaches All-American team led by Charlie Ward, the Heisman Trophy favorite. And Marshall Falk, he's back for a second straight year, the only repeater. On the defense, Derek Brooks, he's a finalist for the Lombardi and the Butkus Award. There's a look at the Kodak All-Americans. Keith.
All right, 3rd down and 3. Go down. The Michigan defense is swarming. This time it is Shante Peoples. And Ohio State will be forced to kick again.
Lloyd Carr, the defensive coordinator for Michigan, told us yesterday that one of the problems they've had defensively is slow starts. They played well in the second half, and he said it was key for this ball game that they came out and played well in the first half. They have done that the first 3 series.
All All right, it's the same people here. Williams to punt. Alexander, number 1 there, looking up into the sun to receive it. 33 and 40 yards on his 2 previous punts. That's another pretty good kick. Wynn grabs it going, brings it almost straight down. And Williams goes straight down, and there is a penalty flag thrown as 2 Buckeyes bury Alexander, and it's a good thing to see Derek Alexander back out there after being bent over backwards a while ago. 34-yard punt. That's a penalty against Michigan, illegal use of hands, and let's check in again with Lynn Swan.
Keith, during the course of the season, you know, Michigan plays for a couple of trophies like the Paul Bunyan Trophy and Low Brown Jug. There's no trophy between these 2 teams, but they've been playing the last regular season since 1935, and they've had a tremendous impact on the Big Ten championship, so maybe that's the trophy they're playing for. 55% of the time, this game has had an impact on the outcome. Ohio State, of course, looking to go to the Rose Bowl.
The Rose Bowl bears the fingerprints of a lot of Ohio State and Michigan football teams. Michigan, of course, winning out there last year over Washington. First down, the snap comes to the 24-yard line. And there's not much in the middle of that traffic this time for Tyrone Wheatley.
Keith, that win last year that Michigan had in the Rose Bowl against Washington, I think, was part of the high expectations this year that everybody had for the University of Michigan. They were ranked, well, some of them had them ranked number 1, but a lot of them were ranked number 3 at the beginning of the season. Wheatley was back, Collins played well, but they lost 7 starters on offense, including 4 offensive linemen, their tight end, quarterback and their fullback.
Collins deep drop, setting a screen, doesn't work. Burkholder, the tight end, had the ball and got away from the first man, but he spent so much time getting away from the first man that pursuit got him, and there's a loss back to the 20.
Ohio State, on the other hand, started out ranked around the 20 mark and has worked their way up to where they're number 5 right now. And they were a little bit upset this week. In fact, some of the motivation for this game came from the fact that they're ranked 5th. Michigan is unranked, but yet they are an underdog to Michigan coming into this ball game. Of course, most of that due to the fact that they have not beaten Michigan in the last 5 years.
And they're trailing right now 7-0 with 2:45 to go in the first quarter. And Collins again looks like he wanted to set up the screen and throws it behind Mercury Hayes. It was Hayes who caught the touchdown pass. So this time the Ohio State defense bows its neck, backs them up, and puts them into a 4th down punting circumstance.
72 is Wilkinson. Watch how easily the white shirts get through. It's because it is a wide receiver screen. Be careful there.
Joey Galloway is back now, waiting for the punt, and should be able to give Ohio State pretty good field position. I mean, they should be on the Michigan side after this punt if he handles it all right. Stapleton knocks it out of there, and he knocks it toward the sidelines, and Galloway will not be able to return it. And that's a pretty good job, actually, by Stapleton. He knocks it out at the Ohio State 41-yard line after a 39-yard punt. The Skins game, well, that comes up next Saturday over the Thanksgiving Day holiday. High stakes excitement. You've got Arnold Palmer, Paul A. Singer, Freddie Couples, and Payne Stewart. Coverage begins at 3:30 Eastern, 12:30 Pacific, here on ABC Sports. What did Greg Norman made last week? $652,000.
Just some change, yeah.
Brett Powers steps in now for his turn at quarterback for Ohio State, the 4th series. And Powers has turned in some electrifying performances for Ohio State this season. He has not been the starter. The senior who came from Tempe, Arizona State, has played very, very well and engineered some wins. And he also was the man that brought him from 99 yards to tie
Wisconsin.
with Wisconsin.
Brought him back to win the Michigan State game.
Yep.
He's played in most every game, all in relief.
2nd down and 8. Now Galloway is wide to the bottom of the picture. Swings it out to Butler Benote at Benote is taken down just about. Well, he's going to be short of the line of scrimmage by a yard. So that didn't work either.
Here's a list of the top 10 at the beginning of the day. The only team that is losing is Ohio State. Miami will play at West Virginia later on today. That'll be a big game.
Yeah, it doesn't. The winner of that game doesn't really lock up the Big East, does it? I think
well, if Miami wins,
Miami does. Yeah, West Virginia.
There's Bobby Hoying, the starting quarterback, looking from the sideline to see what Michigan is doing, getting a different perspective.
3rd down and 9. Powers throws an interception, picked off by Alfie Birch. He threw it right to Birch. Michigan's got a man hurt on the play. Number 94, Jason Horn, is down on the field. Powers threw it right to Birch. As Birch dropped off, I'm sure Brett never saw it.
It's going to have good protection as it's drop back passing, something Ohio State does a lot with Powers. Now Birch was outside in the flat and slid back to the inside. He read the vision, read the eyes of the quarterback, and made a nice play.
That's Jason Horn shaken up on the field, and time is out for him for the moment. That pass that was intercepted was intended for Chris Sanders. 1:02 to play in the first quarter, and Michigan leading 7-0. And now they own that football in the middle of the field, up at their own 47-yard line. There's Brett Powers on the phone upstairs. And Bob Hoying is walking, listening, and watching.
I like this idea, Keith. Bobby Hoying on the right is the sophomore. He is the Ohio native. He is the future for Ohio State. Brett Powers, on the other hand, is a 5th-year senior, has a lot of experience, started 8 games one season, I think 10 overall for Arizona State. Good combination. Horn, who had the sack earlier, seems to be all right.
So Jason trotted off the field looking okay, and now here's another opportunity for Michigan with Wheatley lined up behind Collins. Damon Jones is back in there. He had a catch right in. There is contact along the line of scrimmage before the snap. Luke Fickle trying to anticipate, may have been caught in the neutral zone. Yep. Ohio State, which scored in their first possession in 8 consecutive games, but that string was broken at Wisconsin.
Yes, and they have not scored. Like you say, the first 8, and they haven't done it in the last 3 since.
Yep. I thought last week they looked a little flat. Of course, Indiana had something to do with that, too. But
yep. Quality of competition's gotten better. Indiana's got a very good defense. So Wisconsin, of course, and now Michigan.
They're resetting the clock
The ball moved to the 48-yard line.
to 1:02. Now we're ready to go. The ball is at the Ohio State 48-yard line. First down and 5 for Michigan. Collins back. Gets some pressure. Steps away from one. Steps away from another. And picks up a first down. Depends on whether he was in when he went by the marker or he was out and he was out before he got there. He got away from Fickle, 99, and then got away from Powell, 84. So he got away from 2 people behind the line of scrimmage.
It's play action, Keith, and the man he wants to get the ball to is right there. It's a 2-man route. One's going to run a square in, the other one's going to run a post. Play action, first down. We always show you when it's open. Let's show you when it's not open. Stop it right there, if you will. Good coverage here and good coverage there. And that's why he had to scramble out of it.
And it's 2nd down and 1. With Hayes coming to the near side, same side as Toomer. And give the ball away. And I don't think Tyrone Wheatley got his first down. It doesn't look like it from the mark. They marked him just about the 44. He needs to get to the 43. We're very fortunate to have the sun out and have a dry day with the temperature plummeting down. It's been reasonably comfortable around here in the low 50s. last week or so, but not today. Here Cooper comes in. You got a pair of tight ends now lining up here.
In fact, you got 3 tight ends in the game.
Yep. Third down and a half a yard. And Wheatley will have it. And the first quarter was within 3 seconds of being over as they unpile them. And they have not given the first down as yet. And they won't. Jim Kimberling says, I think we better bring the chains in and have a look, see what we've got. Don Langlow is the line judge. Jim Lapatina is the back judge. Ed Manning's the umpire. Bob Coleman, the field judge. Linesman Tom Ransom, and the side judge is Denny Freud. First down, Michigan. And as soon as they put the chains back on the sideline, Jim will wind the clock and the quarter will be over. And after one period of play at Michigan Stadium in Ann Arbor, the Michigan Wolverines lead the Ohio State Buckeyes 7-0.
Meetings with every
Listen up, teams.
Lead Ohio State's Buckeyes 7-0 as we go to the second quarter of play. First down, Michigan on the Ohio State 43-yard line. And the Buckeyes have not been dominant along the line of scrimmage yet. Michigan's been having it their way. Wheatley. All the way to the 35-yard line. Now quickly, let's find out about Florida. Vandy from John.
Look, he's Steve Spurrier, a little razzle-dazzle. Terry Dean gives it to Eric Rett, who gives it back to Chris Doering. Now he bobbles the ball, picks it up, and then throws a wounded duck to the quarterback, Terry Dean, who is all alone into the end zone for the touchdown, 35 yards. Florida can clinch a trip to the SEC championship with a win. Keith.
Second down, 2.
Where did Vandy go? And offer a drink of water while all that was going on? Second down and short. This is Wheatley trying to get to the outside and can't. He's finally shoved out of bounds by Craig Powell, number 84.
Chased out of bounds by Craig Powell.
There's a look at the first quarter numbers. We talked about controlling the line of scrimmage. Look here. Rushing yardage, Ohio State only 8, and turnovers 1, and not on there is sacks for Ohio State. They've been sacked twice, but only 8 rushing yards in the first quarter.
Change coming all the way across the field to see whether or not Wheatley picked up his first down, trying to get around and trying to lean, and he got it.
First down for Michigan.
So Michigan now in this possession picks up a second successive first down and possess the ball now at the Ohio State 33, leading 7-0. I don't want to keep beating on the same old tub, but Ohio State wins this game, they go to the Rose Bowl. They win the conference championship. If Michigan wins, then Wisconsin spirits will soar.
Ohio State still has a chance. If they lose, Wisconsin would have to lose one of their last 2.
They've got to beat Illinois and Michigan State. This is Wheatley on a sweep. Played pretty well by Ohio State. They strung him out and held him up to a couple of yards. Here's Swanee.
Keith and Bob, you were talking about Ohio State not being in this ball game, and early in the first quarter, when the offense was on the sideline, I could hear the coach talking to Hoying while he was talking to the coaches upstairs on the phone. They were talking about a pass play that didn't work. He says, Hoying, it's not your fault. The timing's just off. Everybody's timing is off. We just got to get back into this ball game. So you're absolutely correct. They're not into the game, and one of the first thing that goes is the timing.
Yep. I think that has something to do with being on the road, playing in a hostile territory. You're not going to play as well most of the time.
Second down and 8 for Michigan. Wheatley again. He's tough. And take it down at about the 27-yard line. Craig Powell, sophomore from Youngstown, getting the tackle. Somewhere along the way today, you're going to have to sell out, though. You have to just lay your ears back and let spend everything you got. Wheatley now with 11 carries already and 78 yards with 13 minutes to go in the first half. Third down and 4. Wheatley. He's going to have the first down. It'll be very, very close to him. He went into the middle that time, and Lorenzo Stiles, number 90, was there for Ohio State. What Wheatley, remember, is better than 245 pounds. And he's a leader in traffic. Just short.
This tells you a little bit they're going to go for it. This tells you that they feel like their offensive line, which has improved tremendously over the year, can handle the defensive line.
All right, Wheatley is the man. And now Todd Collins wasn't comfortable with it and calls a timeout. That clock, the 25-second clock, was the reason for that timeout.
So often the quarterback who sees that at either end of the stadium is concerned when he gets up there. He doesn't have time to check off if he sees a defense, and that's why a lot of times the quarterback will take a timeout.
So on 4th and 1, they'll go for it. And Wheatley's got it by about a yard. Pretty good defensive coverage by Walter Taylor and Craig Powell. He didn't really get it by all that much, but he did get it.
A little talking going on down there, a little intimidation, trying to establish their turf. Wheatley has always played well in big games, and obviously said some things in the paper this week that said, hey, bring it on, I'm ready. I like to play in big games. He missed 2.5 games this year with an injury, a shoulder injury, and 2 of those games, Michigan was beaten.
10th play of this possession. Using up a lot of time. He lost his footing as he started to cut, and will take a loss back to the 25. And here's more on the adventures of Florida and Vandy.
Well, Keith, Florida's at it again with the little trick plays here. Terry Dean pitches to Eric Redd. He hands it right back to Dean. To Aubrey Hill, 18 yards for the touchdown. It's 14-0. Keith.
13.
Well, you better bring an extra chalk.
He's just showing off for Bobby Bowden for next week. Bobby's going to see those tapes, and Bobby's going to say, hey, I like that one. I might put that one in.
Better hunker down and play next week. Second down. Thrown underneath to Shea Foster, the fullback. And Foster will pick up a yard, but it's still going to be 3rd down and about 12. Right here, let's pause 5 seconds so our ABC stations can tell you who they are. If Ohio State wins or ties, as we told you, they go to the Rose Bowl. If they lose and Wisconsin wins the next 2 at Illinois and Michigan State in Tokyo, then they would go. Meantime, later today, USC and UCLA will get it on in the Coliseum for the Pac-10 spot in the Rose Bowl. And they still pay $13 million for that. Collins' pass is thrown behind Walter Smith and intercepted on the ricochet by Mark Williams. Mark Williams, number 51, has been all over the field already today and made several good plays, and he just came up with another one.
Look, the receiver is going to be coming from the left. Number 51 is right there, Williams. This ball is thrown behind a little bit. Receiver is looking back into the sun also, and Williams right there picks it off. A little bit behind him. Ball tipped up in the air. This is the second opportunity for Ohio State. This time they get it.
12 plays, no points for Michigan. Brett Powers now the quarterback as the Buckeyes take over at their own 13. give the ball to Raymond Harris, and Harris high steps his way for 5 yards.
As you look at Ohio State, their first quarter possessions, not much to write home about. They're not keeping the ball for very long. 4, 5, and 3 plays the next 2. And the last time was intercepted. So good defense by Michigan.
This big fella right here has played himself a heck of a ball game. Senior out of Upper Marlboro, Maryland, Mark Williams. Second down, 4. To the 21. That's 2 yards short of the first down. So the Michigan kids that have been slapped around some this season along the line of scrimmage are hanging in there pretty well today against the big bucks, who are playing for big bucks. Michigan still has an opportunity to go to a postseason ball game. Question about that. Ohio State so far in the ball game has yet to convert on third down. Comes over, eyeballs Joey Galloway. They look for Galloway, throw it to the sideline. The pass is completed to Chris Sanders. Went right over Galloway's head to Sanders, and it's a first down out at the 33-yard line.
Having problem with some protection, get the quarterback outside. Powers rolls out. Galloway was in motion. Just a little down and out, and a nice throw on the run. Picks up a third down in a third down situation and gets you out of the hole, really.
He did that last week on 3rd and 10.
Yes.
And Hoying did it once. 3rd and 10. First down at the 33 and a whistle. Probably somebody wiggling around on the front. Yep. Next on ABC Sports, the games we'll have for you have Miami and West Virginia. They're at Morgantown. Told you about USC and UCLA for the Pac-10 Rose Bowl spot. And Wisconsin is waiting with Illinois at Champaign to see what happens in this one. And Colorado State will be playing Wyoming in the WAC. So check for the game in your area or call your cable operator for the pay-per-view.
Sonny Lubick, the head coach at Colorado State.
First down and 15 now for Ohio State. Little play action, passes away to the sidelines, thrown and caught by Galloway, and a good throw by Powers. As he was on the dead run, and there was some pressure coming. Damon Denson was after him. He got it away nicely.
Nice call by Joe Hollis, the offensive coordinator. Move the pocket a little bit, start throwing the ball to Galloway.
Play was good for 10 yards. It'll be second down at about good for 9 yards. Second down at 6.
Look at the offensive coordinator, Joe Hollis.
You spent a lot of time down in Georgia, you know, getting used to this cold Midwest weather. Whoops out those turtlenecks on a moment's notice. Butler Benote is in the backfield. He's got the ball. Bouncing outside. First down for Ohio State, and then some, as the young man from St. Louis gets the ball out to about the 48-yard line.
Watch Mono, the right guard, pull, but also watch the tight end stop and then go back and get a block also. Just a little misdirection, kind of like a counter trade with motion away. The tight end has to stop and come back. It's a tough move for Saunders, but he's done it very well.
Chuck Winters put a pretty good lick on it.
Mono.
First down, make it the 49-yard line for the Bucks. And this is Benote popping up the middle and picks up a first down at the 42 of Michigan. And this is the best offensive effort by Ohio State in the ball game. The spot will not give him a first down. He'll be just short.
Watch the blocking up in front there. 68 is Winrow. Right there, the linebacker gets blocked by the fullback. Irons is blocked, and the free safety makes the play.
I tell you what, old Jeff Conklin's blocked a lot of linebackers.
Yes, he has, and so has Jason Winrow right there.
Yes, sir. Harris now is in the backfield on 2nd down and 1. Has it? I don't think he got it either. Buster Stanley, number 60, rose up from his nose guard position. The big senior from Youngstown had him short of the 1st down, I think. It's close enough. This is the 3rd time they've brought the chains on. So real estate is a very precious commodity in this old series. High-priced stuff. He's short. Seven minutes and 28 seconds left to play in the 1st half. 7-0 Michigan leading Ohio State.
Short of the 1st down by about a foot.
Not only is Cothran a good blocker, he doesn't get to carry the ball much. Cothran throws a block party, and he has thrown a bunch of those. Not only a good blocker, but a good receiver, too, for a fullback. It's kind of unusual. 6'2", 242 pounds.
I expect he'll play on Sunday.
He means a lot to this offense, Steve.
Harris is deep, 3rd down and 1. Big guy got it, and Cothran picks up the 1st down as he tumbles down at the 37.
Good for him. All right. You got to give it to those fullbacks every now and then, you know, just to keep them happy. Picking up a 1st down is a good way to do it. Not many rushes. This is their 11th game. It's about an average of 3 carries, a little over 3 carries a game.
Ohio State now mounting a threat. 1st down at the Michigan 37. They usually follow that tight end. If they run, they go down the middle with a pass for Galloway, and it's intercepted. Intercepted by Ty Law, who went up over Galloway and took it away. So they've intercepted Powers twice now. So Michigan stops them and owns the ball at their own 5.
That Michael? Yeah. Starts college next year.
The Michigan Wolverine hockey team is ranked number 1 in a couple of the national polls. Last night at Yost Arena hosted Ohio State. Jason Botterill put the Wolverines out in front 1-0, then had to come from behind in the 3rd quarter to beat the Buckeyes 4-3. Yep, that's Fielding Yost. The ice arena is named for. The basketball arena is named for Fritz Kreisler. Michigan Stadium continues Michigan Stadium. 1st down, Wolverines, their 5-yard line. Collins gives to Wheatley. Guy steps out of there and runs all the way to the 24-yard line. Walter Taylor in the tackle.
Keith, let's go back to the interception. When Ohio State goes to 2 tight ends, Lloyd Carr, defensive coordinator, wanted to go to an 8-man front. That left one-on-one out here with his defensive back and the wide receiver, Galloway. Law on Galloway. He got exactly what he wanted, man-to-man. Ohio State got what they wanted, single coverage. This time, the defensive man outplayed Galloway. Galloway's made a bunch of plays during the season that way. That ball was just underthrown a little bit, and he couldn't get up for it.
Incidentally, Tyrone Wheatley on that last run now totals 999 yards on the season. And he's got 1,000 and some. And Ty Law's interception in the play that Bob was showing you there is his 3rd interception over the last 2 weeks.
Yeah, got 2 last week against Minnesota. In fact, they picked off 4 against Minnesota. There's Ty Law. Gives him 4 on the season.
Ed Davis now checks into the backfield for Michigan with Wheatley getting a rest. 16 carries and 105 yards.
2nd down 4.
We're anticipating seeing Biaka Batuka before the day is over. 2nd down and 4. This is Davis. He's got very good feet. He's one of those skaters. Give him a little daylight, let him get started. It reminds me a goodly bit of the youngster Dunn down at Florida State.
Watch the offensive line blocking here. Marinero, 73. Melia, 67. Melia takes care of the middle linebacker. And it always helps with the back and run around somebody. Nelson, number 13, got faked out. You can't block everybody, and a good back will make somebody miss and pick up a big game on it.
And first down at the 44-yard line. So Michigan starting at the 5 is now moved it out to the 44. Collins getting pressure, going to go down, back on the 30, and a penalty flag. It'll be a face mask, I think. I mean, you ought to get credit. There were two guys blocking on him, and he came back there and got him anyway.
That's true. Could be holding and a face mask.
It could be. Face mask there against Ohio State. Is it incidental or is it a big one?
Face mask on the defense, 5 yards enforced from the previous spot. First down.
Key point there is previous spot, because that sack happened way back in the backfield.
Well, the ball is going to be put down on the ground now up at the 49-yard line, and the tackle was made back on the 30, so it's 19 yards. That it costs Ohio State.
Collins is having a good year, Keith. Michigan with their problems, but he is really having a good quiet year. Reverse.
Yeah, Collins still got it. Let's it go for Alexander. He caught it at the 1. The Ohio State people did not know where the ball was. Look up in the sun and you can't see it from that angle, apparently, and they never picked it up. The play is good for 50 yards.
It's a good point, Keith. This is a long developing play. Fakes a reverse. Now the coverage is going to be there. The ball's thrown way to our left. Now he sees it and goes in there. Taylor, number 2, didn't see it. And what a great catch. Michigan has outstanding athletes at wide receiver. And Collins has thrown the long ball well all year.
It's first and goal, Michigan at the Ohio State 1. Wheatley is back in. Give it to the fullback, Ritchie. Touchdown, Michigan.
Lorenzo Styles was the players to get it up and play. And he asked him, he said directly to him, what is wrong with you? We need to play hard defense.
He's right. They're behind 14-0 with 5.5 minutes to go in the first half of play. And Remy Hamilton is getting ready to kick off to Butler Benote and Travis McGuire.
Alexander with that huge play. Michigan is making the plays. Ohio State is not.
Twisting kick. And it goes out of bounds, and Ohio State will have it up at the 35-yard line, first down. Tomorrow, ABC Sports offers at 1 Eastern, noon Pacific, top names in women's tennis, Virginia Slims Championship. Then a figure skating spectacular, pairs and dance finals, and an exhibition from Sudafed Skate America. Tomorrow here on ABC Sports. Well, let's see if Lorenzo Styles' words, demeanor, and attitude had anything to do with the other folks wearing the white.
and Powers is not going to get the ball out far enough to the outside. Keith, on a cold day sometimes, you just don't throw the ball hard enough. The ball doesn't carry, it's harder, might be slippery, play action. Coverage was there underneath, but he was open if he threw the ball. Hoyings played the first 3 or 4 possessions, first 3, and didn't do anything. Powers has had 3 possessions and 3 interceptions.
From the 31, it's Wheatley and a penalty flag. Wheatley's picked up about 11 yards on the carry, and the flag trailed the play, came from the referee, Jim Kimmerling. Somebody's hurt. It is Wheatley who's down, and it's somewhere. He started back toward the huddle. Now he's down on the ground. And let's spend a moment with John Saunders.
Okay, Virginia Tech facing Virginia. Simeon Willis, the quarterback, hit by Cornell Brown. The ball will pop loose. Jeff Holland, it bounces right into his arms, and he just has to go 6 or 7 for the touchdown. 17-3 now, Tech leading Virginia. Keith.
Ooh, that's a pretty good-sized upset cooking
Yes,
there.
sir.
Isn't it? Huh. The Gobblers will be whooping it up on Thanksgiving if they win that. Wheatley with 16 carries. He had 105 yards before that run. And he picked up 10 or 11 yards on that carry. And I thought he had started back.
He's had a shoulder problem, and he just lowered his shoulder and just ran over that defensive back.
That's all right. Nothing to do with a leg. It might be that shoulder. But he's not wearing any special apparatus for the game today. Keep an eye on, see what part of the anatomy they work on here, if any. If it's a shoulder, look out.
If he's had a sore shoulder, I don't think he should be running over guys, lowering his shoulder like that. When he can run out of bounds.
And Collins on first down at 20 will put it up, throws underneath to Davis, and he's to the 35-yard line. And they'll be looking at something like second down and 13.
Let's go back to the previous play and take a look. First of all, the line blocking is there, allows the speed of Wheatley to get around. Toomer downfield is throwing a block, but where he could have clearly ran out of bounds, just lowered his shoulder.
Ran into Tito Paul, 190-pounder. Walter Smith now has to hobble off the field for Michigan. Second down and call it 14. And Davis takes a pretty good lick from Craig Powell at the 30-yard line. And it'll be third down and about 8.
Back in the trenches for Michigan, 75 is Blind, 69 is Runyon. Simmons is 91. He gets a free shot in there. Nobody blocked him. That's a mistake.
Ball now to 30.
And again, Davis making some people miss. The wide receivers for Michigan downfield blocking.
And Thomas Gines is a freshman from Kankakee, Illinois. 6'5", 299, still growing. More buttermilk and cornbread. He'll tip the field by the time he's a junior. Third down and 8, Collins rolls it. Throws it. Alexander, first down. Out of bounds at the Ohio State 20. Michigan right now is making it look easy.
Tito Paul chased him out. Very assistant.
Mixing it up very well. Michigan, Gary Moeller calls the offensive plays. You know, both these coaches, Keith, could probably be in the running for the Rodney Dangerfield No Respect Award.
Yep.
Moeller has been the head coach here 3 years. This is his 4th, and took him to 3 Rose Bowls. And Cooper on the other side has done a nice job, but just has never beaten Michigan while he's been at Ohio State.
First down from the 20, pitch it to Davis. Down at the 20.
Lorenzo Stiles and Craig Powell, middle linebacker and an outside backer trailing the play, made the stop. How about coaches? You know, it's just astounding to me that Lou Holtz is not on one of those Coach of the Year things. Coop is. I just can't believe that Lou Holtz is not included. I'll tell you another guy that I think has maybe done the best coaching job of his career. It's John Robinson at USC.
Kind of turned that program around after he tried to run the ball. Now he's letting it flow.
Well, he doesn't have the people to
where
run
the strength
ball.
is. Yeah, that's right.
Like
the strength is passing. Yeah.
This is Davis again. Oh boy! Inside the 10, first and goal to go, Michigan. Walter Taylor kept him from scoring. They just opened up the middle of the Ohio State defense.
The blocking in the line is going to be good, but watch the tight end as he goes through and blocks on the middle linebacker and allows the back to get through. Line is there, nice hold, but the middle linebacker, Stiles, is blocked by the tight end. Not a great block, but just enough to allow Davis to get around.
And so it's first and goal. Wheatley had his bell rung. He'll be all right later, but they're going to hold it out for a while. Give it back to Davis. Penalty flags are down. Davis will go down just about the line of scrimmage, but there were several people within the neutral zone. Could be movement or it could be offside. It is offside. So things are not going well for Ohio State. They are digging themselves a well. And if Michigan punches it in and leads at the clubhouse 21-0 at halftime, that well's liable to have water in it.
Cooper's team has not been behind that often this year. They've been behind a couple of times the last couple of games, but not for very long or by very many points. This is certainly the biggest.
It's first and goal from the 3.
Good down the pass if you're going to throw it.
Pressure coming, throws it, pass to the fullback, and Shea Foster canters in for Michigan. Touchdown. One of the simplest plays in all of football. Lazovic for the point. Good. It wasn't authoritative, but it was good. And I might say to you, as it goes to 21-0, no team has ever come from more than a 21-point deficit to beat the Michigan Wolverines. Ever.
Go back and take a look. As I said, great down to throw first down. The fake is going to be this way, but the man that gets the ball right here, the fullback, he's going to slide out and watch as the defensive man is going to come upfield and can't do anything about it. Fakes, Foster slides and slithers through. And right there, as a quarterback, you just want to make sure that you get the ball out there. Watch the pull to the right side. All the linemen go, and only the fullback goes left. Nice call by Moeller.
21-0. Michigan leads unbeaten Ohio State. Hamilton kicks it off. McGuire comes up for the ball. Doesn't handle it, and Cedric Saunders has to control it, cover it at the 20-yard line. It was very poor judgment by Travis McGuire. Coming up on the Prudential halftime report, John Saunders will have scores and highlights and a live interview with undefeated head coach Tom Osborne of Nebraska. And I agree with you, Dr. Tom. We don't need a rematch in a bowl game. I don't believe in rematches. especially when you're going to all this trouble to have a coalition vote and you wind up with a possible rematch. Bobby Hoying is in at quarterback now for Ohio State, and Michigan has called the timeout. Michigan leading 21-0 at 2:11 to go in the first half. Not impressive numbers there.
Last 3 possessions, Brett Powers at quarterback not having a good day. Bobby Hoying back in. Keith, Ohio State just has to make some plays. Whether it comes from the quarterback, obviously, they've got to get the ball to Joey Galloway. Galloway's only has 1 reception on the day. They need to get him the football.
Benote is the tailback. Hoying throws, Saunders the tight end, and Cedric will have a first down. They go to the big guy, and he moves the ball to the 16 yards out to the 36.
Ohio State is not playing like they have played all year.
Nope.
They are playing as if Michigan owns them. They have not beaten Michigan in 5 years, and they've only beaten them twice in the last 10 years, and that's the way they're playing. Ohio State is playing like Michigan is supposed to own them, not like they've been playing all year.
Hoying goes to the sideline, same guy. Nope, not the same guy. This is Demetrius Stanley, number 86. And Stanley took a pretty good whack on the sidelines, but he pulled it in. Timeouts remaining. Ohio State with all 3. And getting it out of bounds, killing the clock, brings up a 2nd down and 4. 21-0, Michigan. Ohio State just been kind of watching. They really haven't been participating with vigor.
Well, they haven't been making the plays either, Keith. Nope. They've had some people one-on-one, Galloway one time, and just threw it behind him. Galloway slipped and didn't make it, intercepted.
Run it this time, Benote, and he's close to a first down. The spot looks like it might be good enough. It'll be at around the 46. And they have stopped the clock at 1:31 to go in the half. It is a first down for the Buckeyes. You saw that Lehigh and Lafayette scored. You saw Harvard and Yale a while ago. 2 of my old friends, 2 of the men I have the greatest respect for coaching is that Harm Koza at Yale, and Joe Resnick coaching his last game for the Crimson. On first down, Hoying lets it go. Pass is good. Pass is drilled between defenders. Great catch down at the 34-yard line by Demetrius Stanley.
It's going to be a good throw by Hoying because the defensive back out there does a nice job. There's 2 men out on the sideline, 1 short and 1 deep. He looks short. Now watch the defensive man come back. It's Lowell, 22, and almost picks it off or gets a piece of it.
Well, Stanley makes 2 big catches now for the Buckeyes. And Hoying back, gets it away, going deep, and falls down. It's intercepted in the end zone. It'll come out to the 20, and it's the 4th interception of the ball game, and the 2nd in the game for Ty Law. Chris Sanders, the intended receiver, fell down.
I was saying you've got to get the ball to Joey Galloway, but you cannot force it. Galloway is going to run a post, but watch as these 2 defensive backs right here are just going to drop back. In the past, he's thrown the ball up, free safety, excuse me, but both of them were right there. In the past, Galloway has gone up and made those plays. Today, Sanders, excuse me, has gone down and slipped on both plays.
And so once again, the Buckeyes are turned away. A moment of energy, then it's gone. This is Shea Foster now, as Michigan will be very happy. Pound the ball in the middle and run out the clock. Ohio State will spend the timeout to stop the clock with 47 seconds to play in the first half.
If you knew him when he was young, you'd never believe he'd be president.
Put it on the 23-yard line. 21-0 Michigan. 47 seconds to play in the half. Ohio State has a major problem.
Think they aren't excited up in Madison, Wisconsin?
Oh, my goodness.
And how about the Wisconsin players over in Champaign?
They probably weigh about 400 pounds more right now than they did when they got off the bus.
That's right. That's right.
But that's a tough place to win.
And this one ain't over yet.
No, it ain't. Davis. Sweep is at about the line of scrimmage. Simply put, Ohio State to win today goes to the Rose Bowl. If they lose today, it ain't over, because Wisconsin will have to beat Illinois today and Michigan State on December 5 in Tokyo in order to go to the Rose Bowl. So that very simply put,
Illinois, the
what it
same
amounts to.
team that beat Michigan and gave Ohio State all they wanted over in Champaign earlier in the year.
Well, the loss of Michigan to Illinois was just incredible. Ricky Powers, senior tailback, fumbles, and then they get an incredible pass play in between 4 defenders, and it worked for the winning touchdown.
The Ohio State players, Keith, have got to be in shock.
Well, they got to get nasty now. I mean, it's time to.
They have to believe that they can still win the game. That's what they first have to do. They have not been in this situation all year.
4 interceptions is a staggering thing. The last one was a force. The others were not.
The problem is they have not established their running game. They've only gotten 47 yards rushing in the first half.
So the big edge was to be Ohio State along the line of scrimmage, and it has not been that. And right there, it's not that. Michigan again won that skirmish, and Davis pops his way out for another first down. That ensures that Michigan is going to go to the clubhouse, probably leading 21-0, because they're not going to put the ball up now. They don't have to.
I'm sure that John Cooper is going to, one of the things he's going to say is we cannot turn the ball over. 4 turnovers for Ohio State, only 1 for Michigan.
Ball is on the 31. Well, he hasn't downed it yet. Now he's finally tackled and put on the ground. Ohio State standing around, and quarterback had never touched his knee down. And finally Jason Gwynn came in and knocked him down. Halftime, Michigan 21, Ohio State nothing. Now let's join John Saunders.
By using drugs, you lose control. Do you really want to do that?
If you or someone you know needs help or information concerning drug abuse, call this toll-free number, 1-800-662-HELP. This message provided by the NCAA.
The Prudential Halftime Report has been brought to you by The Prudential. When you face the most important financial decisions of your life, turn to The Prudential. Peace of mind. It comes with every piece of the rock.
All right, we'll get you out to the second half in just a moment, but first it's time for a World Cup update. We have some qualifiers. The field is now filled. England failed to qualify for the World Cup finals for the first time since 1978. France for the second straight time. The draw is December the 19th in Las Vegas. Of course, USA is the host nation, and we here at ABC will carry the World Cup starting next summer. A couple of quick scores before we get you out to the game. Texas A&M and TCU. A&M headed to the Cotton Bowl if they can win their next couple. And right now, Corey Pullig has 2 touchdown passes, 1 to James McGeehan. It's 21-3. Colorado and Iowa State, the Buffs have the lead now 7-0. Lamont Warren, a 2-yard touchdown run. Back to the second half in just a moment. Enjoy it.
Back at Michigan Stadium, 21-0. The Wolverines lead the Buckeyes in what is heading toward a huge upset in 1993. Basically, this is what has happened in the ball game for Ohio State, particularly. Powers at quarterback, succeeding Hoying, intercepted by Alfie Birch in the first quarter. Brett Powers in the second quarter is picked by Ty Law on a pass thrown deep for Galloway. Then Powers trying to get the ball to the sideline to Galloway. Chuck Winters steps in front, ball not thrown high enough, and he intercepts it. And then Hoying came back into the ball game at quarterback for Ohio State, and he throws for Sanders at the goal line, and Ty Law comes away with his second interception of the ball game. So it's a 21-0 lead for Michigan, and the Wolverines will have the ball to start the second half of play. There's quite a story here regarding the attendance at today's ball game and for the year for the Michigan Wolverines. We have 106,867 in the ballpark, which is a new Michigan record and is a modern-day NCAA record. 739,560 for home attendance is the most in NCAA history. And this season, 1,035,938 have seen Michigan play at home and away. The only non-sellout was at Minnesota. Now let's check in with Lynn Swan.
Well, Keith, I think part of the reason why you can have attendance records here is because the aisles getting out of the stadium to the bathroom were so tight you can barely make it. But after having traversed that, before I did that, I talked to Lloyd Carr going off the field. And he is a very cautious and careful defensive coordinator. He does not want to let Ohio State back in this ball game. He anticipates he'll come out throwing the football right from the beginning. He feels it came out because they took away the run from them. It forced him to more predictable situations. He hopes that will continue in the second half. But for John Cooper, he was so intent on talking to the officials, he didn't have time to talk. But I think it's pretty obvious. He is going to try and wake up the sleeping giant of a football team he has had all during the season and try and light a fire and get some emotion out of them because they are sleeping through this football game.
Well put, 20.
Well, what Cooper has to do, Keith, is tell them that defensively, we got to shut them out or don't give them many points. And offensively, there have been many halves in this season where we've scored more than 21 points, and we need to go out and play.
Since 1900, you can see the point we made as we went to the clubhouse. Nobody has come from more than 21 points down to beat a Michigan team. 93 season. Amani Toomer has gone back as a deep man now. He's number 18 along with Mercury Hayes for the Michigan Wolverines. This is sort of a new adventure for them here, receiving a kickoff, because Ohio State hasn't been kicking off. Tim Williams will do it. It's 21-0, and here we go. Toomer, 1 yard line. To the 30. I'll tell you one thing, there were some people throwing their bodies around wearing white, but it's still a 29-yard return.
Michigan in the first half, Collins was 8 of 12, 101 yards, 2 touchdowns in the interceptions. Wheatley 105 yards rushing, and Alexander with 60 yards. Foster and Hayes also scored a touchdown. First half possessions scored on really their last 2 possessions. That last one down at the bottom was just went out the clock type of thing. Here's a look at the Michigan rushing game and where they rushed. 17 times up the center, 129 yards. By far where they're making the most yardage.
A lot of that is Wheatley and Davis picking their way through there. Shea Foster is shaken up from having participated in the kickoff return. Through a block. Now he's going to get up. Looks like he'll probably be all right.
He's the starting fullback. Keith, you mentioned that rushing up the middle, right behind the center, Mark Melia. who is really the only veteran in that offensive line. There he is.
Calls his offensive sets really and blocking assignments very quickly when he gets to the line of scrimmage. Ed Davis will be your tailback now, and Ritchie, if they need a fullback or call that set, it'll probably be John Ritchie going in. Walter Smith is the man in motion. Pitch it to Davis. Big Daddy.
Bad news for the Wolverines that Wheatley is not back in. Good news for Ohio State as Big Daddy puts him down. First half stats. Look at the rushing yards for Ohio State, only 47. And then, of course, the turnovers. 4 interceptions. Ohio State led to 14 Michigan points.
In case you're wondering where Wheatley is, and we are too to some degree, we were told that he had his bell wrong on the play late in the first half, meaning he was fundamentally knocked out. And they're probably looking at him, checking him for concussion. Collins has still got it. He wants to throw it. He's getting heat, and he throws, and it's incomplete. And Collins is pushed down, not knocked down, because Lorenzo Styles could have unloaded on him. Probably drawn a flag, but he didn't.
The thing that's so impressive about Ohio State defensively is the speed of their linebackers. And Styles that time forced Collins into making a poor throw and almost an interception.
Just beginning the second half of play. 3rd and 12. Remember, Wisconsin, Illinois follows here on ABC Sports. Miami, West Virginia, USC, UCLA, Colorado State, Wyoming. Check your local listing on your ABC station or pay-per-view. As this game now, with Ohio State trailing 21-0, is frightening the opportunity for Wisconsin. But the Buckeye defense here in this particular possession after that first play by Davis tighten the screws and stop the Wolverines and will make them punt it.
Well, Bill Young, the defensive coordinator, got two good bits of good news as you look at Stapleton, the punter. Number one, Wheatley was not in the backfield for Michigan. And number two, they stopped Michigan on the first possession, second half.
And they've loaded up. The trenches are going after him. Got it out of there. No flag. Good kick. It's out of bounds.
Great kick for almost being blocked. They came after this punt.
Craig Powell just missed getting it. Stapleton was back there trying to argue that he was knocked down, but Jim Kimling was standing right there. And said nothing to it. He had both feet on the ground when contact was made.
Well, coming out of halftime, John Cooper said, we want to hold them and then we want to block the first punt because they came after that and almost did block it.
Yep, very close. Now it's up to the offense to do something, and they haven't done a thing all day, except be intercepted 4 times. Hoying starts the second half at quarterback. Sanders goes in motion. And give it to Raymond Harris, and Harris runs hard up the middle for 8 yards before Shante Peoples brings him down.
Ohio State not good for the quarterbacks. Both of them had interceptions. Powers had the 3. Not much rushing yards for either Benote or Harris. And Saunders led the receivers. Galloway only 1 reception, 9 yards. Awful possession-wise. 3 punts and then 4 interceptions. And right there, that just tells you the problem that Ohio State. You're not going to beat anybody with things like looking like this.
Sure. Harris the single back, 2nd down and 2. Harris. Just simply running harder right now. He goes to the 45-yard line, and let's find out more about Ty Wheatley now from Swanee.
Well, Keith, the same problem that Shea Foster, number 33, has. They're sitting on the bench. Both of them got their bells rung. They checked Tyrone Wheatley at halftime. The doctor wants to be very cautious and sure there's no memory loss, so he is just watching him and to see how he's going to respond in the second half. He would probably prefer not to play him in this ball game.
Okay. Cothran is now the single back on 1st down for Ohio State. This probably reads pass. Nope, they give it to the big guy. Not much, a couple of yards. Tumbles into the heavy going. Number 36 stepping in for Michigan, Steve Morrison, and making a play. Steve's been dragging a foot with a broken bone in it virtually the whole season. Never has really been able to get himself in shape.
Hurt that foot in summer training, actually broke it. And that has been part of the problem for the Michigan defense. They've had about 5 or 6 inside linebackers go down with injury or various other things. And that has been part of the problem.
2nd down and 8. Ball is at the 47-yard line. Saunders in motion. Hoying gets his pass away, and it is, well, Sanders got his hands on it, but Ty Law was taking him down as the ball arrived, and it's incomplete.
You know, Keith, Hoying was outside containment, had plenty of time to throw. Sanders was open for a long time, and he took too long to really throw him the ball. Now he's looking into the sun, is the quarterback Hoying, and that does make a difference. But he threw that ball too late. Should have given it to him a little earlier. Let the defensive man close.
I'll tell you one thing, Ty Law is having a great game defensively. Well, there's nobody there. Well, he throws you right in between Galloway and Sanders. And a very poor effort on 3rd down and 8 by the Buckeyes.
Well, it's the defense of Michigan. Take a look at this. Michigan, 4 interceptions, 2 sacks. They tackled him for loss twice, and 3 and out. You see it there, 2 of 7 times. But the biggest stat of all is 7 possessions, 4 interceptions.
Mercury Hayes is waiting for Tim Williams' punt. Yep, he's barely got that thing away. They're going to call him down. He's going to call him down. He went down on a knee to get this low step. And Sky is threatening to fall of the Buckeyes, and they've got a man hurt. So when Williams went down to get that step, Jim Kimmerling, the referee, said, "You're down, young man." And puts it there. Watch it. He is down.
This is not the NFL, and that is the correct call. Williams is not the punter. He's not been the punter all year. He has been the place kicker, just been punting the last couple of games.
That's Jim Borchers, who is shaken up on the play. Timeout.
For everyone working to provide safe haven and a better life for those they love, there is an independent traveler's agent there to help protect what you worked so hard to achieve. For everyone challenged by economic uncertainty, there is a traveler's agent there with a customized plan for your financial future. For everyone in America striving to safeguard a dream, there is a partner. Your independent traveler's agent. The Travelers, America's umbrella.
In a perfect world, they might have been friends.
Put the ball at the 32-yard line of Ohio State. 1st down, Michigan. Shea Foster's back in the game, and Ed Davis is the tailback. And the Wolverines are dominating right now. The pitch to Davis. Here comes your reverse. That's Alexander. Drops the ball, picks it up, and then runs out of bounds. Well, he got a gravy bounce when he dropped it. Had it slapped out of his hands by one of the Buckeyes. Everything's going right for the Wolverines. Look at that, BC.
Boston College.
That is not going to be a gimme, Bob, for Notre Dame.
It just tells you how well that reverse worked, that when Alexander dropped the ball on the ground, there were no Ohio State guys around to even challenge him to pick it up.
It's 1st down at the Ohio State 11. Davis. Nobody in the corner. Down to the 1. Tito Paul was the only man that had a chance to get any part of him, and he got just enough to get him out of bounds.
Watch the block of the right guard, Marinero, 73 right there. Nice job by Davis, dipping in, getting the block, and then coming back to the outside.
Boy, that Marinero really took Powell out of the play, didn't
he? Yes, he did. Whew, nice little trap.
Second down and 1 on the 2.
Offensive line doing a very nice job for Michigan.
Davis. Well, that's a pretty good lick by Lorenzo Stiles. Takes him down short of the 5-yard line and a loss of 3 yards on the play. Lorenzo walking around on the sidelines, preaching to his defensive mates, we've got to do something.
He's not only the leader of that defense spiritually and in tackles, but he's 4th in the Big Ten in overall tackles, and he's averaging about 10 a game.
Michigan puts another touchdown in the end zone here. The Wisconsin Badgers are going to. Barry Alvarez going to have trouble keeping him on the ground. Todd Collins calls a timeout with 3rd down and 4 coming up. 10 minutes and 46 seconds to play in the 3rd quarter. College football on ABC Sports brought to you by Chevrolet, who invites you to see the all-new Chevy cars for 1994. And the U.S. Army, learn how to get an edge on life. Be all you can be. 3rd down for Michigan. Collins gives to Davis. Running for the corner. Touchdown. For the point. Borchers, the snapper, was shaken up a little while ago. Ball is back nicely, and the kick is good. At 10:39, it's 28-0, Michigan over Ohio State. And here's John Summers.
Keith, Florida, as we mentioned, headed for the SEC championship game if they win this one. Danny Werfel, 20 yards to Jack Jackson, breaking the NCAA record for touchdown passes. That was his 21st. Meantime, as you know, they will face Alabama if they win the game in the SEC championship game, brought to you by Dr. Pepper. Keith, back to you.
And Alabama is playing Auburn today, a game that cannot be televised because of penalty on Auburn.
Watch the right guard and the right tackle. They're going to pull right here. It's going to be Marinero, and I don't know who the other one is, but offensive line play. We talked about it early on. Marinero 73, and that's Big Jenkins, it looks like, 77. We talked about in the trenches, and that offensive line for Michigan has done the job against the defensive line of Ohio State. They rushed for over 155 yards in the first half alone, did Michigan.
Hamilton will kick it off for Michigan. Benote and McGuire are waiting for it. Looking up into the sun. It's a low kick, though, right to McGuire. This time he takes it cleanly at the 12. It is 33 Benote that has it. They shifted. They put McGuire in the middle and Benote on the side, figuring he might hook it, and sure enough, it worked out because they had tried to keep it away from Butler Benote all day. ABC Sports has a smorgasbord for you on Thanksgiving weekend. We start Thursday morning, Thanksgiving Day, with Georgia Tech from Atlanta. Then there are 4 games on Friday. And then you've got Oklahoma, Nebraska at 2:30 Eastern, 11:30 Pacific time. Big ball game there for the Huskers and the Sooners. And on Saturday, a couple of dandies. Florida State and Florida at Gainesville and Penn State and Michigan State. Jeff Conklin is in the backfield for the blocking purposes, standing in there and takes off a linebacker as Oying stands up and drills the pass to Joey Galloway. So Galloway turning inside in front of Burch is able to make a catch.
Well, Keith, this is about as tough as it gets. On the road, Ohio State down 28-0. They came out the second half. They stopped Michigan. They forced them to punt, almost had a block punt. And then the punter, when Ohio State had the punt, touched the ground, gave it up, and now they're down a touchdown in the second half, too. Tough road to hoe here.
Got a first down out at the 46. This is Raymond Harris running it on the first down for 2 yards. Maybe 2. 10 minutes to play in the third quarter. There is still time, but they better score some points pretty quickly. Buckeyes coming into the ball game with a tie against the Wisconsin Badgers, otherwise undefeated. All at second down and 9 with Harris and Cothran in the backfield. Now they'll split it up. Double wide, top of the picture. Boyd has time. Now runs out of time. Number 91, Matt Dyson. Now here's John again.
Keith, Texas A&M and TCU, Corey Pullig hooking up with Tony Harrison. 71 yards for the touchdown, and Texas A&M, who has Texas on their schedule next week, up 21-3 in the second quarter. Keith, back to you.
Matt Sullivan trying to rebuild things down at TCU. Demetrius Stanley checks in for Ohio State now. It'll be third down and 24 after the quarterback sacked by Dyson. Boying's pass is away, caught at the 45-yard line and close to a first down, but not quite. Joey Galloway, leaping as high as he could, reach to get it and bring it down.
It's a big throw there. Third and 24. Only 2 receivers out, everybody else blocking, and if it's fourth and short, you got to go. You're down 28, huh?
Fourth and a half a yard.
Yeah. Critical down here to keep the drive going.
Cothran and Harris behind Hoyt. First man, fullback, Cothran. It would appear he has it. He does. So they keep the ball, and they'll have 4 more snaps starting at the 44-yard line. Indiana leading Purdue at the half. Penn State, Northwestern in the first quarter. Minnesota, Iowa just underway. And as we've told you a number of times, Wisconsin, Illinois follows us in the Big Ten country. Alfie Birch covering Demetrius Stanley. A ball well underthrown, missing the target by a good 3-4 yards. It'll be second down and 10. Michigan secondary has held up very well today. Of course, the Michigan defensive front has been able to get enough pressure.
Something they have not done all year long, Keith. They are not among the leaders in the Big Ten in sacks or takeaways, interceptions, well down the list. But last week they had 4 interceptions and 4 sacks.
Ball is thrown short to Cedric Saunders, the tight end, just across the 40, call it the 39. It's good for about 5 yards, and it'll be third and 5. Galloway was running for the corner and well covered. Took a look at him. He was not available. Single back. 3 wideouts now for Ohio State. Third and 5. Pressure coming. Blitz. Down he goes behind the line of scrimmage at the 49-yard line. Chuck Winters, the free safety.
Right here, he's going to blitz, but Winters is just outside of him. Number 35. Watch that gap. That's 36 Morrison, and now 35. Have a little game there, a little twist. Blitzing on third down, stops the drive.
And forces a punt. And 6 minutes to play in the third quarter. 28-0. Michigan leading. Williams kick with Mercury Hayes settling at the 15. Comes back to the 22-23. And there Michigan will go to work, controlling the ball game. Who invites you to see all the new Chevy cars for 1994 and the U.S. Army. Learn how to get an edge on life. Be all you can be. All right, Michigan now going to try to run some clock off. Ed Davis and Shea Foster. I don't think we'll see Tyrone Wheatley unless this game gets a lot closer than it is right now. They're still looking at him for a possible concussion. Davis is doing a pretty good job. Thank you. Runs the ball across the 35-yard line and a first down for Michigan. The Ohio State defense has spent a lot of time out on the field today.
Number 72, second man in from the top right there. Marinero, 73 is blocking. That's Wilkinson. And the hole was supposed to be this side. Davis saw it sliding over behind the block on Wilkinson and did a nice job getting over there.
13 carries, 66 yards, and a touchdown for Davis, a 200-pound sophomore from Detroit. At it again. This time he runs into 99, Luke Fickle. And let's check in and hear what John Saunders has to say about the Colorado Buffaloes.
Keith, the Buffaloes are off and running. Lamont Warren takes the handoff, looks outside, sees a hole, cuts it back, and then takes off. 21 yards, his second touchdown of the game, and the Buffs lead Iowa State 14-0. Keith.
Been kind of a tough season for Jimmy Walden and his Cyclones. Not only did the campus get flooded, the gym filled up with water and all that stuff, but now it's a tough year in football. Davis carries, will get about to the line of scrimmage, and that'll do it as Lorenzo Stiles brings it down, and here's Lynn.
Well, Keith, you're talking about Tyrone Wheatley not coming in the ballgame. Partly it's because of the depth they have in the backfield. Guys like freshman Richie, number 40, and Bianca Batuka, number 21. They've had big games for the Wolverines, and they've had a chance to play against Purdue and Minnesota, and everybody has confidence in them. It's also a chance for this team that struggled throughout the year to have some young ball players get great experience. So when they come down to the night, when they come back to the 1994 season, everybody has a great deal more confidence.
On third down and 9, 4:09 to play in the third quarter. Big play here. Ohio State's to see the ball anytime soon, and Todd Collins spins a timeout. And Michigan will have one remaining. And his coach is saying, "What in the world are you doing, son?" Tomorrow night on ABC, a special one-hour show, the 100th episode of America's Funniest Home Videos, featuring your favorite videos of the last 5 years. And then after
why is it all
of Superman, the stories you've never seen before about JFK, reckless youth. The ABC Sunday night that we hadn't heard about JFK.
I didn't think they let dogs in the stadium.
That ain't no dog, that's a coyote.
All right. Having a little fun and doing a great job.
With cold feet. Chill factor was 9 degrees when we started. Probably about the same because the wind has not been too difficult. Third down and 9. Shea Foster, single back. Probably Reed's pass, since you've got 3 wideouts on the one side of the field now. Now Derek Alexander goes the other way, and Collins is back. Tipped and caught. Short of a first down, however, and they will have to punt it. Alexander, coming back to the ball, was able to catch the tipped pass. We started the day with this, and we will end the day with this, probably, as far as we're concerned. And I think number 2 now begins to take on a little more significance, particularly in that Wisconsin is waiting to play at Champaign against Illinois. Joey Galloway will be waiting now for the punt from Chris Stapleton. That's a good kick. Right up in that wind and just kind of hung there, just forcing Galloway to call a fair catch. Just short of the 25-yard line. And there Ohio State will go to work. 35-yard punt, no return, 3:18 to play, third quarter. Auburn jumping out to a 3-0 lead over Alabama. That game cannot be on television because of the sanctions and penalties against Auburn. They did sell because of a big screen they put up in Bryant-Denny Stadium over in Tuscaloosa. They sold about 45,000 seats because they couldn't accommodate any more and show them the game on the big screen.
Here's what Michigan has done the last 2 weeks. Only 38 yards rushing allowed, 8 sacks, 8 interceptions, and 2 block punts. We talked about them not playing well most of the year, but certainly the last 2 weeks they have.
Guys have gone to the shotgun now, and Bob Hoying's pass thrown to the sidelines for Sanders is incomplete. The Ohio State rushing game today, and this is the single most revealing stat that I can give you, other than the score. They've carried the ball on the ground. They've rushed it 23 times. They've gained 23 yards.
They came in averaging 200 yards a game rushing on the ground, and they're just not, you know, we talked about at the beginning, in the trenches, and Michigan has won both sides of the ball there.
Wayne Carter, number 1, has come into the ball game at a wideout for Ohio State. Wayne goes back under center. Throws short for Sanders up at the 30, breaks a tackle, and gets across. If he got across the 35, that'll be a first down. Big effort by the tight end, Cedric Saunders.
Keith, we mentioned at the opening that Ohio State controlled their own destiny. If they win, they're in the Rose Bowl. If this game stays the way it is, now Wisconsin will control their own destiny. But Ohio State is not out of the picture by a long shot. Wisconsin still has to win. If Wisconsin loses one of their 2 final games, Ohio State is back in the Rose Bowl.
36-yard line, first down. Orange pass thrown across the field is almost intercepted by Alfie Birch. Should have intercepted. It was thrown across the field for Cothran. It was an invitation for an interception.
Well, you may remember this pass. They worked this one last week against Indiana, and it worked very nicely. This time, Alfie Birch, the corner on that side, stays at home, and you've got to give credit to the coach. That's Lloyd Carr, defensive coordinator. Says they've got this play, stay at home, don't roll that way, and they did, and almost picked it off. Should have picked it off.
Second down and 10. Raymond Harris just pounding up the middle and very close to a first down. Only thing bad about this is the clock is running, and the clock is now the ally of the Michigan Wolverines. Now the referee, Jim Kimmerling, stops it to bring the chains out. Remember, following us, you've got Wisconsin at Illinois in the Big Ten. You got Miami, West Virginia in the Big East. You got USC, UCLA, and the battle for the Rose Bowl. All of it here on ABC Sports. You got Colorado State, Wyoming. You can give your cable operator a call if you have any interest in pay-per-view, or check the listing for the game that's being shown in your area. It's the old traditional weekend. They don't like you from 4 generations ago, and they beat you. It'll be 3rd and a half a yard, or foot, maybe even less than that. Want to load up one here and go big? Gamble on 4th down, or get your 1st down here? Get your 1st down here. Whoa! I don't. He didn't move it a bit. They're going to have to go on 4th down anyhow. I don't believe he moved. He lost something. Well, they'll measure it again, I guess, but it's going to be 4th down and short. Sure.
Talking yesterday, Keith, with defensive coordinator Lloyd Carr. He's there in the middle, right behind that gentleman. Lloyd, you see him. But anyway, he was telling us that the young defensive linemen, as you see, that's just going to be short. The young defensive linemen are just starting to come around. Denson, a true freshman. Carr, another one. Outstanding players, and he's using these young kids, and we highlighted them in the opening. There's a look at Carr. Very good talent. Denson, very quick. Players of the future for Michigan that have been pressed into service this year because of some injuries.
Lloyd was really jumping up and down about something. Somebody was out of position or something. They got to go for it on 4th down. 4th down at about a foot. Boyd gives this one to Raymond Harris, and Harris is going to have it and then some. Runs for a 1st down inside the 40 down to the 38-yard line of Michigan. It's dangerous when you run off the corner like that because the lateral pursuit can nail you for a loss. But they hadn't gained anything up the middle, and they chose that way, and it worked.
You know, Keith, you were talking about the rivalry and being heated and all that other stuff. It's not a hatred. And you know, I thought it was interesting talking with Gary Moeller yesterday. And he thought that the reason it didn't develop into that because the respect that Woody Hayes and Bo Schembechler had for each other. They really liked each other. We're friendly. Friends.
Hoying on the play action, throws back to his tight end Saunders. Cedric breaks the tackle and ambles on down the sideline to the 26-yard line, and that's another 1st down. And here's a 1st down in New York City. Dave John.
Thanks a lot, Keith. Texas A&M and TCU. Greg Hill busts this one up the middle. They can't get a hand on him. 94 yards, tying a record at A&M for the longest run from scrimmage. A&M then blocked a punt in the end zone for a touchdown. They lead TCU 35-3. Keith.
Well, that Hill can run. He can really hold. This is Harris. Caught in traffic. And Raymond will battle for 3 at the most before Gannon Dudler, who is another one of those players that's been here, there, and everywhere this year, trying to help out. Coming back onto the field now for the Michigan Wolverines. And you've got the new snapper working out. That's Lynch. Cranking up for Ohio State. Here's Hoying's pass thrown. They're going to give it to him. No. Thrown low. Galloway almost kicked that thing. Reach back, and he's arguing, obviously, that he got a hand under the ball, but they won't give it to him, and it'll come back an incomplete forward pass.
Take another look, see if we can see. It's a slant route. Thrown behind him and low, and hits the ground. Yeah. The reason it was behind him because you see the shadow to the right there. That's the free safety coming over. Should have thrown it quicker, and that safety wouldn't have been in the area.
3rd down and 7. That is slapped down by Alfie Birch, intended for Galloway, coming across to help with Winters, and it's 4th down and 7.
Michigan defensively, Keith, has just shut down Ohio State. The defensive front has done well, and the defensive backs. Watch Birch come around. Bill Harris is the defensive backfield coach at Michigan, and he can be proud of his troops today.
Fourth and 7 at the Michigan 23. Nothing doing. No chance intended for Chris Sanders, defended by Ty Law. Law has had every challenge they've thrown at him today. Well, they may not be shut out today either. But the odds are pretty good they're not going to win this ball game now. We have 49 seconds to play in the third quarter, and Michigan leading by 28-0. Ed Davis is your tailback. Collins still got it. Went after it. Pass completed to the tight end. It's going to be a gain of about a yard. Damon Jones. They still haven't put him down. The play is whistled dead. Damon Jones is a freshman.
He's the heir apparent to that tight end position when Burkholder graduates this year. Says he has a lot of talent.
There's a big old kid over there named Cooper. It ain't bad.
Yep.
There's the resident.
They lost a good tight end last year when they lost McGee. Not only did they lose those 4 offensive linemen that have been around forever, but McGee, a good tight end.
Third quarter is over. 1 to play. Undefeated Ohio State in trouble. Just 15 minutes remaining before the potential devastation of Ohio State's season. If they lose, they're not out of it necessarily, because Wisconsin has to win too, and they're 2 tough ones. Back goes Collins, hands the ball to Davis. Davis, who's had a big day for Michigan, races out to about the 37-yard line, and it's a first down.
Here are the numbers through 3 quarters, and again, the rushing yardage for Ohio State continues to be very small, only 51 yards. Michigan with 300 yards, 301, and total yards for Ohio State a little over 200. But again, the turnovers, Keith, you can't turn it over 4 times and expect to win a game on the road.
First down at the 38, make it. Time Sherman, the ally of Michigan. This is Davis looking for a crack over there, and there is none as they run him down, sort him out, take him down. Mark Williams. Play.
Jason Simmons made the stop.
Boston College up 17-7.
Alabama and Auburn, their typical slugfest. That game is being played at Auburn, not in Birmingham. Ball comes back now to the 37, where it'll be second down 11 for Michigan. Process of being sacked, it looked like he got the ball away, complete to Davis, and Davis picks up the first down for Michigan up near midfield, and everything is rosy for the Wolverines. It was Jason Gwynn that had a hold of Collins and couldn't get him in time. Collins is a big guy. He's 6'5", 229, a junior from Walpole, Massachusetts.
He really made that play too, Keith. He ranks first in the Big Ten in total offense and second in pass efficiency offense. Completed 65% of his passes for his career, and that is tops for all quarterbacks at the University of Michigan.
11 of 16 today for 119 yards and 2 touchdowns, one of them intercepted. 7 of his last 8. It's crunch time. That's when you need them right now, when you can put it away. That's what they're in the process of doing. First down at midfield. Almost didn't get that ball.
Yeah, that was like in 2 waves.
Had to be some movement there. Burned the clock, too.
Dead ball. Delay of game on the offense.
Make it 1st and 15. Michigan does not have to hurry at all now. They lead 28-0. We're going to visit with Roger Twyble in a few minutes. He's down in Champaign waiting to bring you the Wisconsin-Illinois game, and has had conversation in recent minutes with Barry Alvarez, the Wisconsin coach. This is Davis getting back to about midfield. It should be obvious to you that everybody in the country is not going to get it, because some of you are going to get Miami, West Virginia. Some of you are going to get USC, UCLA. Some of you are going to get Colorado State, Wyoming. But it is a story, because the loss here today by Ohio State, and it's imminent, certainly restores the opportunity for the Wisconsin Badgers to get back to the Rose Bowl for the first time since 1963, when Ron Vanderkellen and Pete Beathard hooked up in one of the longest duels in the history of the Rose Bowl. Shea Foster carries, and a gain of a couple of 3 yards. Move it down to about the 47-yard line.
This will be a tough loss for John Cooper, having a great year, and in his 5 years at Ohio State has never beaten the Buckeyes.
Oh, the Wolves will be howling.
They've never beaten the Wolverines. The Buckeyes haven't. Yeah.
Hear it now. 3rd and 6. Little dump off to Foster, the fullback, and that's the first down for Michigan. Now the Ohio State defense begins to look tired. They've been just a half step short virtually all day long.
And Todd Collins continues to just dish the ball off to whomever is open and just keeps the drive going.
Craig Powell, the leading tackler for the Buckeyes, with 12 so far in the game. First down, 35-yard line. Foster, a yard. Here's Lynn Swan.
Keith, we've been talking about the weather all day and how cold. The players in the field are wearing a little bit of extra clothing under conditions like these. Something that gives them a little warmth and flexibility. Now, those stretch pants on the bottom there's enough elasticity in there to shoot Big Daddy Wilkinson through the end zone from about the 50-yard line. The long sleeve shirt, a short sleeve version for linemen, and there are gloves that also the players wear.
Is it warm though? No, I guess it retains heat, huh? Once you get warm, it keeps it.
Not bulky.
No. This is Davis. Davis getting a goodly bit of seasoning today against an old foe. And the clock marches inexorably along. Indiana now by 10 over Purdue. Northwestern's hanging in there with Penn State. It's going to be interesting to see who goes where. As you work yourself down the list of Big Ten teams, as many as 6 could conceivably wind up in bowls. Almost surely 5. Michigan now, with this win today, I would think becomes quite attractive.
Very much so.
Collins is rolling along, waiting, sorting them out, shuffling his deck, and finally throws to Damon Jones. And it is complete. but it's very short. And it'll bring up 4th down.
And that game down in Champaign, Keith, don't think that Illinois doesn't have anything to play for. They're 5-5.
Yep.
And a win might propel them into one of the bowl games.
Well, we know that Michigan State was told by the Liberty Bowl, you'll be welcome. Holiday Bowl is a possibility. And obviously the Citrus and the Hall of Fame are going to get somebody. That'll be a 1st down. Burkholder, the tight end, number 80, making the catch. So Mark hadn't caught one. The first-place team of the Big Ten, as you all know, goes to the Rose Bowl. Then the Citrus Bowl has the 2nd pick among not necessarily the number 2 team now, but the 2nd pick. And then the Holiday Bowl, the 3rd pick among the Big Ten, and the Hall of Fame, the 4th. So Liberty is in the picture. Then there's the Independents.
Some talk about the Aloha Bowl, maybe.
Aloha, yeah. 24-yard line, 1st down, Wolverines. Clock's gone. He's trying to run it off and run it down to the last second, and that's the 2nd time he's been caught.
Well, it's been a big win for Michigan, too, Keith, and Gary Moeller. It's been a tough year for him, high aspirations starting out the year. And then tough losses against Illinois and Wisconsin and some others.
Have you ever heard of the Beehive Boot?
The Beehive Boot? No, yes. I haven't.
Well, Dave Burnson says Utah and BYU will play for it. What does it do? 1st and 15 now with the 5-yard penalty. Davis. He's a tough guy. He keeps on wiggling around in the middle of things, and all of a sudden you look up and you're moving the chains. Gained about 4 yards on the carry and coming up on 9 minutes to play.
I think there's the future right there. Davis. Ed Davis, tailback, Biaka Patuka, who we haven't seen, a true freshman this year at Michigan. There's some question as to whether or not Tyrone Wheatley is going to be back next year. Nothing has been said about it around here, but Gary Moeller said, you know, in the offseason when the time is right, they'll sit down and discuss it. It looks like with Ed Davis and Biaka Patuka, whom we have not seen today, although we saw him on some tape, they're going to be in pretty good shape as far as tailbacks are concerned.
Ricky Powers graduated. There he is. Actually came here from Canada.
By way of Africa, born in Africa.
Zaire, yeah.
Speaks 4 languages. Tamunga Biaka Patuka.
This possession for Michigan started in the 3rd quarter with about a minute or so to play. And now you see they're less than 8 minutes to go in the 4th quarter. So they've had the ball forever. And they're just grinding along with it. Davis staying on the ground, brought down by Powell. That'll be 13 tackles for him today. And Lorenzo Styles, Fickle it is. Luke Fickle getting up very slowly. Getting tired. Been out there a long time. Davis has carried 22 times now for 96 yards. 4 more, and Michigan will have 2 over 100. Wheatley being the other. He had 105 before he went out. It is 4th down. Collins going underneath. Ball dropped by Foster. Shea Foster, the fullback, had it. The ball was not thrown with any authority. It was just lobbed out there, and he could not reel it in.
Honey, we're leaving in 10 minutes.
While virtual reality isn't quite here yet.
Well, after holding on to the ball for almost 8 minutes, Michigan finally gives it up to Ohio State at the Buckeye 18-yard line. Michigan leading 28-0. Now Ohio State's going to start throwing it around and try to generate something. That ball is thrown to the 27-yard line, out of bounds and incomplete. Waiting to call the Wisconsin-Illinois game is Roger Twyble, our colleague down in Champaign on Pork Day, and I assume you've dined well, sir. You talked with Barry Alvarez. Roger, what's the feeling down there now?
Well, Keith, he drawed an interesting parallel to when he was an assistant coach at Iowa back in '84. You might remember it was the same sort of scenario. Ohio State and Michigan were playing early. Iowa was at Minnesota that night. He says we sort of laid around, watched the game. He said the wrong team won, and then we went out and laid an egg against Minnesota and got beat by an inferior team. You know, they've had a week off to gather themselves from an emotional roller coaster after the Michigan game and the Ohio State game. And so they're very well prepared. They understand what they've got to do. And what he has tried to tell his players and sell them on is the fact that if they can just win out, they can get 9 victories, which no Wisconsin team has done since 1901, and they'll probably be in a New Year's Day bowl game. And everything else will take care of themselves. But I can tell you, I spoke to him about an hour ago, and his enthusiasm was tempered, but there was a glint in his eye that something big was going to happen.
Okay, Rod. You have a good day. Look forward to hearing you.
Appreciate it. Good talking with you, Keith.
Thank you. 25-yard line. I can imagine Alvarez is jacked up, huh?
I know him very well.
He's a tough guy, too.
Yes, he is.
He'd be kicking some rump around there if they don't come out and spin what they've got. 3rd down and 3. That pass is overthrown, intended for Demetrius Stanley, and it is now 4th and 3. The last time Michigan shut out Ohio State in Ann Arbor, if you're interested in such things, 1953. So 40 years ago, Ohio State drew a blank here. They send out the kicking team. No sense in being foolish, I guess. With 6:08 to play in the ball game. Toomer is back for Michigan. 23 is Tim Williams, the punter. Monty Toomer lets it bounce. It touched him. It touched him. It touched him. It touched him. I swear to you, it bounced off his hand. But
yes, you got awful good eyes.
Oh, I thought it did. Beer with the great imported taste, Amstel Light. Right. New Sierra. It's not just antifreeze, it's safety freeze. And Hewlett-Packard DeskJet and LaserJet printers. Ricky Powers is in at tailback now with John Ritchie at fullback. And this is the final home appearance for Ricky Powers, and he turns in a good run on his first carry of the day. Ricky Powers, a senior from Akron, Ohio, gets into the ball game, and he gets the hand from the home folks.
There's a look. Bottom right is Bo Schembechler. Behind him, Cecil Fielder, the baseball player from the Detroit Tigers. But Bo told us on Thursday that they were going to win. Michigan was going to win. In fact, Gary Moeller had Bo go in and talk to the Michigan players on Thursday and just tell them a little bit about the tradition. And I guess as only Bo could, told them about the tradition and really got them fired up. What was it, the 69 game, Keith, that we had
Yep, his first year.
First year. Ohio State was favored by a big margin, and they went in and beat them. But Bo got them fired up and said that Michigan was going to win. He was very confident. In fact, Bo's a happy man. A week from today, he's going to get married to a young lady, a beautiful, nice gal named Kathy. She's a beautiful gal. Just best of luck to him.
I saw they were in his office yesterday with Jerry Hanlon standing there. Jerry now does color on WJR radio, I think it is here local on the Michigan games. I saw Hanlon in there. I couldn't resist. I walked in the door and said, "This is where the unemployed hang out." Ball comes up to the 40-yard line. Ricky Powers carrying it again, and so Ricky's going to run out the clock, it seems, for the Michigan Wolverines. And Monday night, a fight for the lead in the NFC West. Defending division champions New Orleans Saints traveling to San Francisco, where that left-hander named Young waits for him. A fellow named Rice, who's having another great year, and the 49ers. Live at 9 Eastern, 6 Pacific on ABC's NFL Monday Night Football. That'll be a good one.
That one should be fun, shouldn't it?
That'll be some. They'll need some new paint for the helmets after that one's done. Powers again. So it's the coaching staff saying to Ricky, thanks, partner. Go out and carry the ball the rest of the day.
Well, he had a tough year. He was the captain this year, senior. Played well his first year, but first 2 years, actually.
His first year was dynamite.
Yeah, had some fumbles earlier in the season. Has not seen the field much, but the backup quarterback,
Jay Remersma. He's from Zeeland, Michigan, 6'6", 227. He's a sophomore. Well, Powers almost popped one. Almost popped one. I don't know what there is about a college football season for a team, but there's sometimes when you can just sense a team starting to go do something or not do something. And I sort of, Bob, I had the feeling coming into this ball game that it was a trap for the Buckeyes, that Michigan, was that explosion last week at Minnesota, they were ready to sell out and play a game, and they have. And Ohio State needed an extra special effort to withstand it, and they didn't have it. And they're going to get beaten. In its 6th season, the Honda Scholar Athlete Award is brought to you by American Honda, proud to support amateur athletics. This week's award goes to Joey Galloway. The Buckeyes split in 302 GPA in business marketing. He is from Bel Air, and Honda will present a check $3,000 to the General Scholarship Fund of the Ohio State University. Galloway today had 3 catches for 47 yards, so he was relatively quiet. Coming up on 2 minutes to play in the ball game, and they continue to run it with Powers, and that'll be a first down. So they'll snap it again 4 more times. Remember, coming up after this ball game in the Midwest, Big Ten country, you'll have Wisconsin, Illinois. Out west, you'll have UCLA, USC. In the east and the south, Miami and West Virginia. In Rocky Mountain country, Colorado State, Wyoming. ABC stations carrying those games. Some cable operators offering different games. You might check with them and see what you've got in your region. And if they don't have what you got, give them what for. First down. And a loss of a yard or so, as we're now in the process of just simply running out the clock.
Ohio State, Keith, by losing today, can do no worse than a tie for the Big Ten championship. Of course, Wisconsin can tie them also, and they would get the right to go. Now, interesting thing, Cooper and the Buckeyes, I'm sure, are going to be dejected by this loss. But by the time they get back to Columbus and get off that flight, if Wisconsin should lose to Illinois, they could find out by the time they land that, in fact, they are going to Pasadena for the Rose Bowl.
Here's your man. Tamunga Biakabatuka is in the ball game. And whistle stopped the play before he can get up ahead of steam. And he's quite a scooter. This guy can haul it. Good size, too. He's a 192-pound freshman from Quebec. If time permits, we invite you to stay tuned for the Thrifty Car Rental postgame report featuring scores and highlights from across the country. And John, of course, is going to be busy until the bonny hours of the evening as other games follow us. Disappointment personified. Jason Carr is now the quarterback for Michigan. He is a sophomore from Ann Arbor. Guess whose son he is?
Son of Lloyd Carr, the defensive coordinator.
Here goes Bianca Batuka. Down to the 35. They're not throwing the ball because they don't need to throw the ball. And when you have an opponent defeated, you do not run around and throw the ball and embarrass him. That's what you're seeing played out here. Cooper is now 0-5-1 against Michigan since he came to Ohio State University. This is Bianca Batuka carrying. The most It's over. Michigan defeats Ohio State 28-0. The Chevrolet most valuable players of the game are Craig Powell for Ohio State, 13 tackles. Ty Law, the quarterback for Michigan, 2 interceptions, 4 tackles, and broke up 2 other passes. Chevrolet donating $1,000 to each school's general scholarship fund to help those students who need some money to keep marching along toward academic fulfillment. So John Cooper disdaining the microphone, and I don't blame him. I'm sure he feels poorly as he watched his team lose soundly.